Yo, what's up guys, this is Sig, and today I'm gonna show you how to build an idea from a vocal and transform it into a sick track, which sounds like this.
You'd hold me in the dark. You'd hold me in the dark.
So we got these insane vocals from Rico56, which are also included in our newest vocal pack.
Slow down. Take a second to catch your breath.
When I have a vocal and nothing else, first thing I try to do a chord progression. I really like to write in a piano first, so I get a better sense of the musicality of it. And usually I like to write also in E minor, that's the scale I'm most comfortable in. And the vocal is in D minor, so I'm just gonna pitch it down 2 semitones up. And I'm gonna be writing on this section.
To please, I'm lost without your touch, without your touch.
So let's start with the bass progression of the chords. I'm just gonna start at E, that's the root note.
For me, I'm lost.
And we can go, for example, to a C.
Lost without your love. You're just so hard.
And maybe then to a G or an F.
So hard.
Maybe a G.
So hard to please.
Maybe let's go to an A.
Hard to please. I'm lost without your touch, without your touch.
I really want to end at B because there's some notes in the vocal that I think are gonna work with the chord I'm gonna put into it. And also here I think we can kind of go up a little bit on this last section so we connect better with the higher bass notes.
You're just so hard to please.
Perfect. I think this sounds pretty okay. Maybe we'll change it later, but I think for now that's sounding pretty good. So to get a better sense if this actually works, let's make a chord. So how I do it usually to make it very quickly, I just copy and paste the bass notes and I go 1 octave up and 7 up. That makes a fifth 1 octave up.
For me, I'm lost without your love. You're just so hard.
And then we can do the same thing basically to get the minor or major chord. Copy, paste, and then 1 octave up and we go +3. So right now we're gonna get here a minor chord.
For me, I'm lost without.
And this is not sounding right. So what I usually do, I just go up and down 1 semitone till I get into the scale, or sometimes you can get lucky and you get a different note from the other scale and it's gonna sound good.
Lost without your love. You're just so hard to please. I'm lost without your touch.
And here, this last one, I think sounds a bit too happy. I like to use the D sharp here. I think it's borrowed from another scale. I don't know any like professional music theory. This is just basically what I do. This is just my thought process.
I'm lost without your touch, without your touch.
Okay, and right now we can just copy the bass notes.
For me, I'm lost without your love. You're just so hard to please. I'm lost without your touch, without your touch.
As you can see, the chords are all over the place. So what we can do, we can inverse them. That means that we just flip the notes 1 octave up or down. For example, this C was a bit too low. Maybe this E could go lower 1 octave and this F sharp as well. Maybe this D as well. From what I understand, you can play this better at the piano, but I don't play piano. It sounds more natural as well.
For me, I'm lost without your love. You're just so hard to please. I'm lost without your touch, without your touch.
Now that we have like the base of the chord progression, we can kind of move some notes up and down and different semitones and see what kind of works and makes the chord progression a bit more interesting. So for example, I see we have a C here. What I discovered, when you have a fifth and you play it throughout the whole progression, it kind of sounds pretty interesting. So I think I'm gonna do that here since we have a lot of the B already in the progression.
Lost without your love. You're just so hard to please. I'm lost without your touch, without your touch.
And maybe we can get rid of this A here. And maybe we can do something similar as in the third chord. I can maybe delay this D sharp a bit later. And maybe we can get a bit of dissonance somewhere. Maybe over here. You're just so hard to please. I think we're pretty much set, so we can maybe bring this down an octave. Maybe get a C over here as well. I'm lost without your love. You're just so hard to please. So usually when I have the piano done, I kind of move into a synth to see how it's gonna work out there as well. So I just have this basic saw wave here. So yeah, I think it sounds pretty good. We can start building a patch with saw waves. Let's use basic saw waves here. So let's put oscillator B to 1 octave up. And maybe we can get another oscillator, the sub oscillator, playing maybe 2 octaves up. Let's spice it up a bit. On envelope 1, we can maybe lower the sustain a bit down so we get the pluckier sound. Then we can use the filter and maybe modulate the cutoff of the filter with envelope 1. And to get a bit of width, we can pan the oscillators left and right a bit. And then on envelope 2, we can make some kind of attack to the sound. So just lower everything except the decay down, and we can assign it to the cutoff. So we get more of a plucky sound. And also I think maybe we can go 1 octave up for this sound. You can assign macro to open the cutoff. Also add a reverb on it. And maybe also another filter with MG Low 6, which is going to be just a slide filter. I'm just going to filter it out maybe like that. And I think the sound sounds a bit too digital right now. So to get the saw wave sound more natural and have a bit more texture, what we can do, we can modulate the fine tune of these oscillators to get a bit of movement. And also the oscillator B with maybe a higher rate. We can also use the noise oscillator to modulate anything with the amplitude of it. So you can use maybe a white noise, and you can also use some harmonic sound. So for example, I've got this C4 sine wave. I'm gonna enable key tracking, and with that you can turn down the level. And for example, on the level of oscillator A, we can turn it down a bit and then go to mod source and noise oscillator, and that's gonna modulate the level of oscillator A with the sine wave itself, so which is pretty cool. I think we can do the same on oscillator B, and this is what it does. So before and after. It induces some slight imperfections in the levels and makes it sound more natural. You can also mess around with different pitches, for example 64 semitones up. You can also add it to the filter, for example. And that way you can get more movement just from a basic saw wave sound. So for this one, I think I'm not gonna use the filter cutoff that much, but I think right now it's sounding much better. So let's see in the context.
For me, I'm lost without your love. You're just so hard to please. I'm lost without your touch, without your touch.
I can also add my patch plugin called Colorizer. I just like to use the smear a bit, maybe some pitch wobble to get more imperfections, maybe make it a bit stereo. And yeah, also some distortion, so we get more color. And we can create another sound very similar to this one. Maybe we can use the sine waves for this. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. Maybe we can try it 1 octave down. We can also try different processing for this one, maybe the colorizer as well, but I think it needs a bit more of distortion. And some EQing in the mid-lows. Okay, enough sound design, let's continue on writing this thing. So maybe we can use this sign patch as the starting point. And since we finished the writing part, we can go back to D and also pitch the vocal down. So this is what we have.
Slow down, take a second to catch your breath. We're fading now, feel so far.
And just for mixing sake, let's cut off a bit of lows of the soul sound since we don't need it too much, as the sine wave already has a lot of lows.
Far from me, I'm lost without your love.
Okay, so I'm just gonna copy the chords over to this part as well. And we have the base of our idea going. We got the vibe already there, so that's the most essential part usually when I write my songs.
Ooh, you pulled me from underwater when I was falling apart.
And for example, here we can just automate the cutoff in this part to kind of build it up towards the drop section, which we're gonna work on in a second. And we can cut it off right here. So we have just the vocal here. This is gonna be our drop part. Awesome, so we can kind of fill it out with some atmospheres and maybe some drums to get it going. I like this atmosphere from our selected pack a lot. I'm gonna pitch it down one semitone so it fits the scale.
Down, take a second to catch your breath. We're fading.
Okay, that fits perfectly. Maybe we can add some kind of like one note string.
For me, I'm lost without your love. You're just your time.
Ah yeah, this is epic, I like it. I think we need some drums, and recently I've been using Live from XLN Audio, which kind of can create very nice drums from any sample basically, and I have a couple of Foley samples which we can try out.
Slow down, take a second.
This sounds pretty cool, so I think we can get it into MIDI and kind of work with it. I don't like this part. And this is basically gonna be our clap. Also, we can boost a bit of mids to make it more clap-like.
I'm lost without your love. You're just so hard to please. I'm lost without your touch.
It's just like some ear candy. We can maybe try something more. This could work.
Far from me, I'm lost without your love. You're just
Okay, perfect. I like this. Maybe let's add some bass underneath here. Maybe some more overgritted one. I really like this Diva bass patch. It's so clean and simple at the same time.
far from me. I'm lost without your love. You're just so hard to please.
Okay, I'm fairly happy with that already. I think this is good enough to have as an idea, and we can try to build a drop right now. So I think I'm gonna go for maybe more of a plucky drop, a bit more minimalistic type drop, nothing very crazy, more, you know, chill, deep house-ish. Let's start with the bass line. And I'm just gonna do it for all these notes. I also loaded this nice preset from Selected Collections. And I think maybe we can go here to a C to make it a bit more moving. Let's get some drums. I'm imagining more like soft drums in here. So like a very soft kick. This could work. And of course we need the clap. Maybe a soft clap like this could work. And of course we need some sidechain for the bass. I'm gonna use Shaperbox 3 for that. So I'm gonna maybe sidechain the mids a bit less than the lows. And maybe we can pitch down the head a bit. It's just a bit softer in the highs. Okay, so let's try to make the main lead. So I think we can use Harmor for that. And the basic preset from it is actually pretty good. This is a pretty basic sound, but what I discovered from, I think, Imanu, when you turn back the time on the plug, you get a pretty nice plug. Let's grab the bass notes. And maybe let's go with the 5th on top. Okay, let's continue this on. That sounds pretty good. Maybe the A sharp could be lower here. Yeah, this is pretty cool. But yeah, I think the sound is sounding a bit basic. Yeah, I think we can spice it up. You can always spice it up. But yeah, let's first hear it in context. So let's maybe distort it slightly. Let's use the Bloom plugin. I really love to use it. Let's crack it out and see what's gonna happen. Yes, that works. Let's use the colorizer, for example, and, you know, maybe get a bit of room in there, maybe some smear. Nice, I think that sounds a bit more interesting. Okay, now we can get rid of the low end since we don't need it anymore, I think. Just a bit of the subby frequencies. I think it could use some width, so I think I'm just gonna do a parallel bus. I'm just gonna maybe make it wider with something. I think microshift could work. We can also saturate it a bit with, I like to use the little radiator sometimes, just super easy to use. And we can just EQ out some lows and maybe some highs, so we can just have the mid frequencies very wide. Perfect, so I'm getting them back into one bus, so we can sidechain it. We can use the same sidechain as on the bass. Okay, so this is what we got so far. I think we can add an RC20 as well here to maybe get bit of that noise, as you can hear right now. So we set it to follow. Yeah, maybe a bit less magnetic, so it doesn't change the volume that much. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Let's add a bit of highs. As you can see, it's peaking a lot, so let's use a clipper to tame the peaks a bit. yeah, much better. The master's gonna have a lot less work to do. So yeah, I think we need some more movement in here, so we can maybe automate the pluck time, so basically the cutoff of the sound. Maybe at this point could be nice. And here as well. And a bit here as well. And towards the end as well here. Perfect, we could also use some reverb automations as well. And we can copy it over here. We can also automate some kind of delay. We have it here in the colorizer, this weird delay. I like to use the reverb and delay automations a lot, and especially in the simple kind of songs, so it does a lot here. So I feel like we could add some more like natural claps, so I'm gonna record some right now. Okay, so I got a couple of samples, as you can see, that I recorded, and let's try to make a clap out of these. So we can kind of pan them left and right since they're all mono and get some width. And I'm just gonna route them all together and process them a bit. And I'm just gonna get a bit less release. So they're very, very snappy. And I think I'm just gonna pan them more aggressively here. And every second clap, I'm just gonna add this different one, so it sounds a bit different. And yeah, I think we can just copy it over. And of course, we can also clip them. I think we can just kind of copy this part over and maybe try to do something different in the second part. First of all, I'm just gonna mute the kick here. And I think we need some kind of, you know, switch in the lead as well here, since it's repeating itself. So we can try one of my favorite plugins called Infiltrator and maybe just slap some random presets on it and see if we get something interesting.
A few moments later.
That sounds actually pretty sick, but it's too much. Okay, let's just automate the mix here. I think we got something. Okay, let's continue on. Let's see what we can do in this part. Maybe we don't need the weird delay here, but we can do something with the lead, so it's not just one note all the time. It's gonna get boring. Maybe we can do a harmony of the bass. Yeah, this sounds good. And then we go to the A sharp. Yeah, that I think it works. Let's see in the context. That sounds pretty good actually. Let's get some more drums into it. Okay, so I found these kind of leaf things. I did it in a sound designing session before. Okay, that kind of works. I think this part needs something maybe from the break. Maybe we can add a sustain string. I think maybe we can get some like tonal transitions and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe something like that could work. Maybe even here. And the vocal could be a bit louder here. Okay, let's see also the pre-drop. I think we can add something there.
I was lost from the start, but you'd hold me in the dark.
Maybe something from these transitions.
In the dark.
Okay, so just some last details. I think we need some effects. I got this leaf shot. Maybe we can just add some reverb and it's gonna be like a sweep. Nice, and we can add it to the end of the drop. And one last thing, maybe some sweep in the build up, and I think we're gonna be done.
I was lost from the start, but you'd hold me in the dark.
Okay, we're done. Let's play the whole thing.
Slow down, take a second to catch your breath. We're fading now, slip away every chance we get. You feel so far from me, I'm lost without your love. You're just so hard to please. I'm lost without your touch, without your touch. You pull me from underwater when I was falling apart. I was lost from the start, but you'd hold me in the dark. You'd hold me in the dark. But you'd hold me in the dark. You'd hold me in the dark. You pull me from underwater when I was falling apart. I was lost from the start, but you'd hold me in the dark.
So if you like this vocal and you want 4 more, you can check out sixsounds.com. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. As always, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, smack the like button, subscribe. It helps a lot. And yeah, see you in the next one.